Hello and welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast, Patreon edition. My name is Mark Storrs, and I'm joined with me as always by...
By Chris.
Oh, Chris, just Chris. Okay,
Yes.
awesome. And you are...
Graydon Peckerfender. Graydon
All right, great.
Peckerfender.
Graydon Peckerfender. Thank you for
in
joining
the
us.
library
Yes.
with a wrench.
With a mug.
No,
a heavy
no.
porcelain mug.
Oh, jeez. Thank you for joining us. Everybody back with some creepy, scary, spooky, paranormal tales of terror.
Wow.
Yeah.
Terror is
You
my
are like
favorite.
Terror.
the best crypt keeper ever.
That was not even close to my Crypt Keeper.
It was pretty
I'm
hot,
saving
though.
that for later.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
when the
Maybe you should
cameras
save
go
it for
on.
never.
All right, man. Fine, I won't.
It was really good, man.
I appreciate you,
know-
Robert. I appreciate you.
Now I
Chris.
feel bad because I start the avalanche, but then Chris kills the villagers.
It's all right.
Dude, I'm
It's
the
okay.
cleanup, man.
You are.
I gotta finish the shit
It's like,
you didn't
oh
do,
yeah,
man.
you want a little rock slide, startle them a little? Let's make it a
Jesus
bloodbath.
Christ. All right, we got some creepy tales for y'all, Robert. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the Pontefract Poltergeist. Did
What
I
a
say-
great name.
did I say it right?
Pontefract.
This is how I would pronounce it.
Okay, cool.
So
Sweet.
yes, let's just begin. Let's see what this is all about. The Pontefract poltergeist haunted the house of Jean and Joe Pritchard and their two kids, Philip, who had been 15, and 12-year-old Diane. However, when it made its first appearance in September of 1966, most of the family was away on the trip. On a trip, only Philip was there together with his grandma, Mrs. Scholes. Oh, they're eating it up.
Oh,
Jean's mom. On the evening of September 1st, Mrs. Scholes was sewing in the sitting room. Just as Philip walked in, there was a gust of wind. The back door slammed, and the room instantly felt icy cold. Then Philip noted a cloud of whitish dust, like chalk dust. It hadn't come off the ceiling, as it was only in the lower half of the room.
Somebody fart cocaine?
Yes, Mark. That's what happened. Moving on to the second story. Pontefract cocaine farting.
Yep. It's going to be a lot clearer when that title kicks in.
Yeah.
As he watched, spooky.
Yeah, no.
It coated the furniture with a thin layer of powder that didn't help.
Not at all.
Oh, fuck.
Cocaine for you.
Philip and his granny fetched Auntie Marie,
Oh no.
who
Why?
lived across the road.
Vacuum.
Immediately after she walked in, she slipped down a pool of water. Broke her back.
Oh no.
No, she's okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
They
dude.
mopped it up. I know. I was
right.
just trying to embellish. But more appeared. No one, not even the man from the water company, could understand where it was coming from.
Oh, just phantasmagorical water.
Just hydrogeisting it up everywhere.
Yeah, hydrogeist.
In the beginning,
I'm in.
the Pritchards weren't frightened, just confused. They only realized the house might be haunted when a wardrobe started to sway from side to side and moved across the floor by itself. At that point, Philip and his grandmother packed their bags and went to stay with Marie.
Oh wow, there's abandoning their home.
Well, who wouldn't? It's just
I mean,
granny.
my house.
A dresser going, I'd be
Yeah,
like,
I'd get rid of that fucking dresser. I'd take an axe to it.
Well, yeah,
set that bitch on fire.
You're the head of a household, but
Yeah.
if you're a 15-year-old kid with his grandma, you're just going to go
Man.
across the street.
That's
you
how
got a
it-
book.
And that's how it starts. Start young.
It's true. Later that night, Marie and her husband, Vic, decided to investigate. They had a friend, Mr. O'Donnell, who was interested in ghosts, so they asked him to come explore the haunted house. When they opened the door, they felt a blast of cold air, but nothing else unusual. Mr. O'Donnell said that the problem might be a poltergeist. He added, that poltergeists often damaged photographs. Since fucking
Whoa.
when? I mean, I'm not a poltergeist expert,
is this
though
some
Peyton
new-
and I just went and saw Poltergeist, right, Peg?
Hell yeah!
And that was awesome.
Is this some new poltergeist lore that we didn't know about?
Yeah, they're.
or could
it's
be
German,
ancient lore.
German for crumply ghosts. I mean, I don't.
Oh, the ghost that hates the photos. There
It's
you go.
odd. Maybe they do. I just didn't
They
know.
could.
All right. Weird. Then, as it was quite late, he went home. The moment he had gone, Vic and Marie heard a crash. In the next room, they found Pritchard's wedding photo on the floor. The glass cracked. Also, the paper was slashed in two.
The ghost that hates the photos of love. Yeah.
True.
Afterwards, the haunting ended as quickly as it had begun. When the rest of the family returned from the trip, everything was back to normal, and nothing spooky happened in the Pritchard house for 2 whole years. Is it being written by a 2-year-old?
Two
whole years.
Right.
Then someday, okay, someday, whenever.
All right, whatever.
Jean Pritchard and Mrs. Scholes were having tea when they heard a noise in the hall. They found the covers from Jean's bed lying at the foot of the stairs. Philip's bedclothes were thrown downstairs too, along with some potted plants. Mrs. Scholes was sure it was a ghost. I told you, she said. It's starting again.
Oh no, it's bad.
Why?
This time, nevertheless, the haunting was much worse than earlier. The entire house was filled with banging noises and thumps, and the rooms would suddenly become mysteriously cold. Dozens of objects began moving around by themselves. One of the upstairs rooms in the house was being decorated, and several paintbrushes, a carpet sweeper, and a roll of wallpaper were hurled through the air. The kitchen was affected too. A giant bite mark appeared in a sandwich in the refrigerator.
Oh, that's when you know. When you go to get your Sammy?
Nothing a person.
When you want a Sammy?
Why?
You wanna
Nothing
have,
a person could do.
when you
Throwing
want to
potted
have
plants.
big lunch, but you can't because someone bit your Sammy?
I
Yeah.
mean, you just don't eat that part. You just rip it off and then eat the sandwich.
You can't do that. It's a
No.
ghost.
What's
How
the,
you get
what's
a ghost?
the dead of eating your sandwich?
You can't eat
You
it.
don't
You
go
know
back.
it's the dad. The dad. It's the dad.
You can't take that chance.
You can.
Mark's right.
No.
I want powers, and you do that by eating
The dead?
the
Sandwich?
fucking left residue
Of the dead.
of the paranormal.
This is how we're gonna lose
What if it's a
crap.
fucking demon? You get aspect of the demon. You get to pick a
What,
power.
you turn to fucking purgatory or something?
I've done
You
this.
might just burn.
I've
God.
done this. I was like,
what
Chris
the
turns into sexy purgatory, and we're like, I don't know how to feel about this.
All right, well, I
He
get
looks-
invisibility,
Chris looks
flying.
real good over here.
That's why he's always looking for
Fireballs.
bitten sandwiches.
Cool.
You guys get fucked up knees.
That's true.
We
might be onto something.
Rob and I
We're
both
fucked.
have fucked up knees.
Like, I think one of the videos we shot tonight, I just actively grimaced in agony out of the
no,
blue.
seriously, my
Yeah.
my
We're
foot,
ancient.
my knee, my hip, everything in this side is just screaming for vengeance.
We're ruining the spook.
Okay, back to
the spook.
Wait, hold on.
Create the
Scary.
spook.
Scary. Chris,
Bring the
is, a,
spook
Chris
home.
is a sexy demon. Scary.
We knew that. He was already, that was a fact.
All right, scary,
That's-
scary,
that goes
scary
without
cat
saying.
demon Chris.
All right.
Okay.
It's not about me.
Eventually,
It is about you.
Yeah, it totally is.
though in all fairness, everything could have been done by a person.
Okay, fine.
Eventually, the Pritchards had enough. They decided to call a priest to perform an exorcism, a type of religious ceremony that some people think can get rid of ghosts and demons. Thank you. I feel like I'm reading like the Scholastic Books version of a paranormal book.
People would never. have heard
Yeah,
of
man.
one.
So you gotta write this for the everyday
Who doesn't?
layman,
Who
dude.
doesn't know
We're
what a
not-
fucking exorcism
We're not all
is?
demonologists.
And also, the Catholic Church doesn't exorcise houses; they exorcise people.
I don't know, dude. We're not demonologists.
You don't have to be a demonologist to have seen The Exorcist.
Dude.
God damn it!
The
dude.
Exorcist 3. Jeffrey Dahmer loved it. Think about it.
I don't like it when I'm being talked down to.
I'm not. I'm talking to you on the
They
same.
do
Remember the
blast
carp in the
houses
tub?
like exercise, but
Do what?
The carp in the tub, Exorcist 3, the best part, the speech about the carp.
Yeah.
That is the best part.
Okay.
George C. Scott.
carp in the tub.
When the priest arrived,
Yeah, the priest is here.
he suggested that the bumping noises and moving furniture weren't caused by a ghost at all, but by the house subsiding.
I mean, houses do that.
However, he soon changed his mind when, as he just finished speaking, a candlestick floated into the air and waved itself under his nose. Terrified, he left in a hurry, saying there was evil in the house.
Oh, man. And he bailed, of
He
course.
bailed, yeah, punk.
Wow.
Diane Pritchard, who was now 14, seemed to be the focus of the haunting. Well, there it is, blaming the girl, as
Yeah,
usual.
poltergeist.
This suggested a poltergeist was to blame, as they are known to victimize teenagers. Diane was thrown out of bed during the night and even dragged up the stairs by a pair of invisible hands which grabbed hold of her cardigan. That's hard to fake, being
no-
dragged upstairs.
But nobody's like, hey,
I mean,
stop
if you're
her.
good enough.
I mean, yeah, you gotta be real good to, like,
If you're
to kick,
good
to
enough.
propel
If you
yourself,
get
but
the
still look like
angles
you're
right,
struggling.
David Blaine fooled half of the world to think he could fucking levitate. Fucker was just on his toes.
It's true, he did. I bought it. I'm like, he's magic. How dare you?
He's the devil. He took his on his toe.
And then he was in. He froze himself. Remember in the middle of Times Square?
I didn't. I
Yeah,
don't
he gave
really
he
follow
gave up on
his
magic
exploits.
and then just did
Yeah.
like stunts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he balanced on a pole for like a day.
Yeah.
Lived in ice for like a month. Lived inside a whale for like a year. I don't fucking know. Like
The Jonah.
yeah.
I walked by Chris Angel once in Las Vegas, and I was like, "Who's this shirtless guy?" Oh, it's Chris Angel.
Oh, yeah, how'd that work
He's
out
a
for you?
mind freak.
Yeah.
He is a mind freak.
I mean, he
evidently.
just had never had a shirt on. I couldn't figure out why.
Hands on her cardigan.
Hands on the
Oh.
car.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All
The
right.
Pritchard house.
Here we go. Hands. in the
Things
car.
just got evil. The
Okay.
priest ran away because of one fucking candlestick.
All right, and I got big hands.
Didn't really do much for your belief in God, did it,
No,
buddy?
it
When you
didn't.
just sprint away at the first sign of a candlestick.
All right,
Because they
man.
don't really believe it. Priests
this
don't really
guy
believe
clearly
it
didn't.
until you see something. You're like, oh God, it's real.
Yeah.
He's
Fuck.
out.
Yeah, I was just collecting tithe and, doing my thing.
All right, well, here we go.
Tith. I don't even know the word. Okay. So, however, another family member, Joe Pritchard's, nonsense sister Maud, I believe that was supposed to be no nonsense.
Yeah.
She's just coming in silly as shit. Aunt Maud.
Can you imagine? Dude, your sister's nonsense.
That chick is
You mean no
straight
nonsense?
nonsense.
No. She's nonsense.
Yeah.
Man, that girl's nonsense.
Just coming in goofy as fuck. Here I am, y'all.
That juggling.
Maud,
man.
who is evidently no nonsense, didn't believe a word of the story she heard about the poltergeist at the Pritchard's house. She was sure Diane and Philip were playing tricks, hoaxing
no.
the haunting to get attention.
Well, yeah.
Convinced she would uncover the fraud, Maud decided to visit the Pritchards in Pontefract in order to see the events for herself. As soon as Aunt Maud arrived, the lights went out. Then the refrigerator door opened and a jug of milk floated out, crossed the room, and poured itself on Maud's head, Harry Potter style.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say he poured a glass of water and then he saw it do that and it disappeared into nothing.
Oh, could you
yeah,
imagine?
dude. It just
Still convinced it was a trick, she decided to stay the night. She and Jean arranged to sleep in the same room as Diane to keep her company. That night, the poltergeist put on its most impressive show so far. Food from the refrigerator was Jesus Christ, Stroman's bread,
Billy
strewn
Strone.
all over the kitchen floor. All of the lights in the house flickered on and off, and when Maud climbed into bed, her reading lamp detached itself from the wall, sailed out of the bedroom door. And that's it. Okay, and hit the wall apparently or something. And 4 tiny light bulbs, which were part of the gas fire in the living room, materialized in Diane's bedroom.
this poltergeist is going all out. Look,
Yeah.
look what I can do.
But the scariest was yet to come.
Oh no.
Suddenly, an enormous pair of furry hands reached around the door.
Yeah.
Oh, Dartmoor calling.
There you go.
One at the top and one near the bottom. It looked as if there was a huge monster behind the door until they realized that the hands were in fact Aunt Maud's fur gloves moving by themselves.
Ooh.
Still creepy. Not as cool as a monster.
Yeah, still weird.
A monster really would have spiced the story up in a way I
would've.
could have used.
It would have. Yeah.
Get away, you're evil! Screamed Aunt Maud. In
Nice.
reply, one of the gloves beckoned the women to come nearer, but they were too scared to move. Then Aunt Maud sang a hymn to scare the ghost away. But the gloves merely beat the time to the tune. Okay, so beat in tune to the time, or in time to the tune.
So they were
I
like
guess.
going like this.
Yeah, it's like, whatever the hymn, I don't know what hymn.
Jesus loves me, he hates you, he hates you,
What
he
is
hates
happening
you.
right now?
There
The
it is.
Jesus song, he loves me, he hates you.
No, I remember that hymn very
Yeah,
well from my altar boy days.
It's a hymn, right?
No. Never was.
I don't know. All right, fine, whatever.
Jean Pritchard later admitted that although the moving gloves were frightening, the way the ghost teased Aunt Maud was funny too.
Oh, see, the ghost has a sense of humor. It's like, fuck you, Maud, you uptight bitch. How about that?
So it is a juggler.
I know.
It's like a jester.
Exactly.
Until now, whatever had been haunting the Pritchards had been invisible. But soon after Maud's visit, Jean and Joe woke up one night to see a hooded figure in the doorway, a classic hooded figure. When they switched on the light, it vanished. Their friends also saw it. One of them said it looked like a monk. One visitor even felt it touch her head. So they're having their little swingers party. Lots of people in the bedroom that night.
Yeah, it was weird, man. Put your key in the fucking
It turned
basket.
out there had once been a monastery near the house.
Oh, no.
Was the monk's ghost on the loose? Not long after that, the ghost made its last appearance. Diane and Philip were watching TV when they suddenly saw the monk through the glass kitchen door. Philip ran after it and was just in time to see it disappear into the kitchen floor. Walking downstairs that aren't there anymore. I
Cool,
guess.
all right.
That is the last they ever saw or heard of it. Was the Pontefract poltergeist a ghost? Jesus Christ. A hoax? A ghost? Or a ghost?
Okay.
Excuse me.
A hoax or a ghost? Yeah.
A hoax, a
Christ.
ghost,
Pregnant
a
pause.
ghost,
I was
or
there.
a ghost,
A ghoul, a ghost, a ghoul,
a ghast,
a gas,
A
a
wraith.
mutant.
Oh, there it
a
is.
phantom.
The ghost hunters who
Rodent.
investigated the case didn't think so. One of them, Colin Wilson, said there were so many witnesses and unexplained events that the case only convinced him that ghosts really do exist. Spooky.
Okay, so they at the
I
very
mean, if
end.
Colin
of it,
Wilson says so, who am I?
I mean,
So when
world-renowned
did this have a
Colin
date on it?
Wilson.
I don't remember. Was there a date for this?
66
Oh,
was when it
okay.
began. And then I think it picked up again because they were 15 and 12, and
Yeah.
then Diane was 14, so 68,
Oh, a couple,
presumably.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I mean, this sounds like classic poltergeist activity,
Except for the monk.
the monk is
The hairy hands.
Well, they were.
Well, I
they
mean,
were
gloves.
heard the gloves.
So I guess moving things is part of poltergeist
It
lore.
is,
Yeah.
But they usually don't directly interact in a way that's like,
No.
I'm responding directly to you, whatever.
Yeah, with a little hymn. No, this does. So like I said, yeah, I guess in that rationale.
But it's doing
it
silly
really-
things too, clapping, dumping milk on people.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah, it's not
like,
being a full-on horror dick.
Well, no, it did grab the girl with the big hair with the hands and dragged her up the stairs by the cardigan.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And they ate the sandwich too, man. The most heinous of offenses.
That's true.
Eat a
Well,
man
maybe he
sandwich.
just wanted to play and she didn't want to. And she's like, no, come on, we're
You
going to
can't
play.
be dragging kids, dude.
So you tell that to the
Unless it's a
poltergeist.
kid.
I mean, I
If it's
can.
another dead kid
Exactly.
that's even younger than 12, if it's an 8-year-old, a burly 8-year-old dead
It's
kid.
got, there's
A
antics.
husky
A
8-year-old.
husky. Just husky as fuck. Oh, I love that word from my
I
childhood.
still hate
Just
that.
husking another
Nightmares.
little girl up the fucking stairs. Being all husky.
Physical strength is nigh in the after. Like it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah, maybe. Maybe you can be
Yeah.
willowy as shit and still be able to, bench press 520.
man, I feel like it's more like once you if that's the thing, it's more like Green Lantern. You have to exert
The
Your
mental-
will
the energy.
power.
Not,
Your
'cause you don't have
will
the
is where your
physical-
strength
yeah,
lives.
You gotta get your willpower into the ring, and then that's how you can use your constructs.
It's like the Patrick Swayze kicking montage in Ghost. You got to learn to concentrate. You can't just kick the can. You got to
Yeah.
focus on that fucking can.
I think Kyle Rayner wasn't really a very good Green Lantern, though. I don't think he was. I think Hal Jordan was probably the OG. John Stewart and Hal
I
Jordan.
like
That's
Kyle
a-
was
Rayner.
great.
He was okay.
And what, Guy Gardner? Come
Oh,
on.
fuck Guy
Come on,
Gardner.
Bowl Cut
He's a
Ahoy.
douche.
He was fun. You never read Justice League of America
I
in the
did.
90s.
I know. I
Then how
did.
you
He was
not?
an ass. He was an ass.
That was the point. He was an adorable
Yeah, that was
ass.
the point.
Anyway.
But yeah, Hell Jordan.
Yeah, but
Or John Stewart. I mean, they're both.
I
Hale,
do, yeah,
I
I
always
like
like
John
Hale
Stewart.
and John. Kyle.
I would put them
but,
like
He's hard though.
top and top.
It was dope though because eventually Hale Jordan ends up becoming Parallax, and you're like, yeah,
True.
And
Gets the yellow-
Spectre first.
gets the yellow impurity. There you go.
And then he
Next
just
thing you know.
becomes
And then he kills everybody.
green.
Yeah.
And lives with a family somewhere. Planet.
Yeah.
He just becomes
So-
the lantern. I don't know.
I mean, I guess if this was a hoax, as we always would, anything that we could say, okay, is it a hoax? To what end? To what end does this get them? They're not getting media coverage. There's the newspapers aren't showing up. There's no
Yeah, I feel like in
film
the 60s
crews.
to like make all this
It doesn't
up,
really
like,
seem like there's a point to have a hoax. I mean, okay, if the house is settling, yes, 100% a house settling can cause all kinds of weird shit.
Not floating milk.
Yeah,
No.
or candles.
No.
Floating
No,
milk and
floating
pouring it
things,
on
that's not a house settling. But noises and
Beatrice?
shit and things moving.
So it doesn't make a lot of sense, but all right, let's just. Who knows why people want attention? Who knows what? Maybe that's a factor. Fine, let's table it. We know that poltergeists are time and time again associated with pubescent girls that are going through big hormonal changes and the emotional and physical angst that comes with it, and that either seems to attract these entities or perhaps create them through psychic fields or manipulate otherwise kind ghosts are going to be anting up because somehow they're tapping into this sort of, I don't know, just clusterfuck of hormones and mayhem. Who knows what the fuck is why?
Right.
But I mean, they're always associated occasionally with boys. What was blowing my mind at the beginning of this is the 15-year-old brother Philip. I thought, oh, is this one of those rare poltergeists attached to a boy? Why does it start manifesting when the girl is out of town? And then seem to fully glom onto her when she comes back. Now, 12 to 14, obviously, a huge growth period, psychologically, physically, and whatever, for kids of both genders. This would attract, classically speaking, poltergeist phenomenon, but But is it like one of those rare ones where it's like dueling siblings? Like, and once Philip became a young man, I switched over to his sister and decided to feed off of that energy or whatever.
Well,
and what the fuck is the deal with the ghost that is clearly walking on stairs that used to be there but aren't? The monk.
Right.
Like ghosts and full body apparitions, to bust out the classic Ghostbusters, aren't supposed to manifest in the same way as Poltergeist.
Right.
It's not to say that the two can't be in the same space, I suppose, but it's just usually not the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing in that sense.
Well, I mean, that's still assuming that it is a poltergeist, too.
True.
Right.
I mean,
all right, so again, none of us are ghost experts. We know that.
No.
We know a lot more about
I know we're in the
monsters
dark and we got
aliens.
lights and we're spooky and
Oh, we're
creepy,
spooky
but
shit,
we don't know shit about ghosts.
No.
I don't want to.
I don't know shit.
I don't know if certain apparitions that you see. I know there's the stone tape theory, the idea that the quartz in an old stone in a castle, it's a Memorex tape that keeps recycling an image and a sound, even though it's not conscious of its own existence.
Right.
According to the stone tape theory. But do other full body or even just head apparitions? Some of them seem to be conscious. They seem to be beckoning people, or like the classic hitchhiking girl on a roadside, like, oh, take me home, whatever. It could still be something repeating something, but often, at least in my experience, they're not associated with moving things. Like, you never hear about the ghostly hitchhiker that popped in my car later and wouldn't quit doing it and it got really annoying.
Yeah.
Like, they're not touching your shit usually.
Right.
They're just there and they're out. So
yeah, no, but this is interacting with people and definitely targeting people, and it's moving shit and eating sandwiches and getting pissed at mom.
Well, that's also assuming too that it is just one thing and not multiple things.
Oh,
right. Of course.
A
I mean,
house
you're
of
right.
demons.
And that's something that could be attached to just an object and not a person.
What if the monk was pissed that the puberty geist just suddenly swam in from nowhere, like it swims through the ectoplasmic ether, and it's like, oh, there's kids here. I'm going to feed off this energy. He's like, dude, this has been my house for 350 fucking years. Scoot.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm going to throw shit. I'm going to fucking dump milk on Aunt fucking Marie or whatever. She's just full of nonsense. Oh, wait, fuck, he wrote it wrong. This bitch is serious, you know? And just doing all this shit, and the monk is like, you got to be... I've been praying, being quiet, doing all the shit, hoping I eventually make it to heaven, even though I've been dead for how many centuries. And now this dick comes around.
Yeah, man, the old Dick Poltergeist.
I mean, nobody knows if there's some sort of weird hierarchy or rules of that. Like
Beetlejuice is as close as I've ever come.
Like maybe, I mean,
really?
you might be. There might be like if maybe you're stuck in a certain spot, and then like you die, and then it's like well, been here for 300 years. Like find your own. Place to haunt, but you get to this area, you can't go out of the area.
Right.
And so
I wonder if your territory expands. Like if you refuse to go to the light, if indeed there is a light, there are lights, but if indeed there is a proverbial light, do you eventually, can you cover 100 miles after a century? 300 miles? Can you start flying? Can you start haunting planes and going on
once you learn
Europe
the
trips?
ropes?
Yeah, do you get
meeting ancient ghosts of
like
Rome?
as your seniority builds, you get to expand more? We go like, well, you've been a ghost now for 1,400 years, friend. Here you go. And you're
Is there like a Neanderthal ghost out there that's just kicking ass and laying back like, I got this shit on lockdown?
Oh,
I don't
man,
even want. I didn't even have a light. None of us had. We weren't even monotheistic. We don't have shit. I'm just here ruling the day.
There's that show on the BBC, Ghosts, and one of the ghosts is a Neanderthal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is hilarious. Because he was there at the house and died years ago. The whole thing, so it was awesome.
Well, I don't know about that. But...
It was a good show. It's still a good show. So, yeah, man, Poltergeist. I mean, again, could be a hoax. Could be a super weird haunting. It apparently stopped.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good for it, I guess, but could it come back? Will
it depends.
It come back?
If it was just if there was several and they were attached to some things, if some people have those things,
Haunted artifacts,
then perhaps
you gotta add that to the list. Why not?
Yeah, there you go.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah,
but if it is Poltergeist, and Poltergeists do hold true to the rules of Poltergeist, whatever they fucking may be.
Right.
But the one that the three of us seem to know is that they're attracted to puberty.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in appropriate ways. Then these things probably were simply attracted by the energy that creates and then scooted as soon as it was no longer, once you tap the oil out of the ground,
yeah, you're just like,
move
I'm
on
out.
to the
There
next
you go.
site. Yeah.
All right, cool. Shit. All right, well, there you have it. Thank you all so very much for joining us for the Cryptonaut podcast.
We don't know shit about ghosts.
You don't need to. Patreon edition, the spooky, creepy campfire edition, do we call this? I forget.
I forget now,
Yeah,
too.
whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
All right, campfire edition.
Okay.
Dude, was that a hint of Lugosi? Like, I'm not sure what you...
There was something in
All
there.
right, no,
A little
yeah.
bit, a little Lugosi.
I'm in.
Ah, yes, or a doctor that took care of my eye yesterday. One of the two. So, there it is.
Oh, okay, good.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for all the support. Hope you enjoyed this, and we're talking to you soon.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait, it's the light. It's going. Where's it going? Oh, towards the heavens or hell.
It's a miracle. Yeah.
Okay.
See, this is what it looks like when you just hear it, but now you're seeing it. Now you're fucking seeing it.
Thank you.
Bye.